Well, my name is Laura Harper. I did about 5 years in the United States Air Force from early '05 to late '09. I was an airborne cryptologic linguist, an Arabic linguist actually, for the Air Force. And why I joined the military? My entire family basically has been in the military. My dad did 40 years between being drafted in the Vietnam era and all the way to, actually he deployed to Afghanistan as well. So he did 40 years, uncles, aunts, grandfathers, cousins, it was always just something in the family DNA. But I kind of pushed that aside and said, no, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to do my own thing. But 9/11, 2001 sort of changed that for me. I actually was in graduate school watching the news when the towers came down. And I turned to my best friend and I said, if this is a foreign attack, I'm joining the military. And she kind of laughed at me, didn't think it was actually going to happen, but a couple years later, that's what I did, so yeah. What was it like for me serving under Don't Ask, Don't Tell? Well, that's actually one of the reasons that I joined the military. I mean, going into it, I wasn't really being truthful with myself. I hadn't come out even to myself that I was gay, but I was thinking, well, I think that I might be gay, but I didn't really want to be. So joining the military, you can't be gay in the military. So it was actually sort of working for me in that way. And I stayed that way. I kept up with it until just after basic training when I met my first girlfriend. And she was also serving in the military. And we were both from Southern Baptist families, very conservative. So again, Don't Ask, Don't Tell was sort of protective for us, that we didn't have to be out because we weren't sure we wanted to be. So we were hidden from our families and from our church and were able to be safe. But it wasn't all that great, obviously. I mean, we still lived in fear that we could be ratted out, because basically if someone told on you, it was your burden to prove that you weren't gay, right? And how am I supposed to do that? So we did worry about that a lot. We had a couple of kind of close calls in training, but towards the end of my service, it actually really started to weigh on us, because I would go on deployments and I come back and we're having, welcome home ceremony, invite your families. And I'm like, yeah, don't come. Because I knew that I would just want to run to her and be with her, and I couldn't. And it actually built a lot of resentment for me that I had gone off, I had served just like everyone else, I had served honorably, but I have to come back and just, be around my friends and then go home and see the person that I love. Yeah, so that was pretty difficult, and that's actually why I decided to get out, because I knew that I couldn't live that life anymore. So the moment I found out Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed, I texted my wife, and she was so excited, and she came home from work, and we just cried. Because even though I wasn't in active duty military anymore, I still knew a lot of people that were, and I knew the burden that they were carrying. I knew a lot of openly gay, lesbian, bisexual people that were serving honorably, and so it made me very happy for them, and just for the future too, of people who might join in the future. How many people would not have that second thought in their mind, like, oh, well, if I do this, if I do want to serve my country, I can't be who I am openly. Even when I got off of active duty military, when I stopped being an Arabic linguist for the Air Force, I knew that I still wanted to serve my country. I felt a very strong drive to do that. I wasn't exactly sure in what capacity I would do that, and I actually took a almost 6-month hike on the Appalachian Trail to try to figure that out. But then I decided that I could still help veterans, particularly if I could help combat veterans. I had a strong heart for that. So I used my GI Bill to go back to school, and now I get to serve in the VA and still helping veterans.